Castles have always sparked imagination. Fortresses of stone where stories of bravery and wonder unfold. With bottle castle tower planners, those fairy tales come alive in a garden built not from stone but from recycled plastic. Picture rows of bottles painted gray with tiny brick details, some with small windows and painted flags, each sprouting fresh herbs from the top. Together, they form a miniature fortress where greenery grows instead of soldiers and nature reigns as the true queen. The process of creating castle planners feels like crafting toys and art all at once. Bottles are cut, painted in shades of stone, and decorated with battlements, turrets, and even colorful flags made of paper or fabric. Children especially delight in the painting, turning each planter into its own unique tower. Once basil, mint, or parsley begin to sprout from the tops, the towers look like castles with rooftop gardens, blending fantasy with function. Beyond their whimsical look, these castle planners are practical hydroponic systems. They nourish herbs with water and nutrients inside, ensuring steady growth. Their vertical shape makes them easy to line along fences, garden beds, or balconies, where they double as decoration and a fresh food source. For families, the project is a chance to build together, weaving imagination into sustainability. For communities, a row of castle towers in a shared garden can become a landmark, sparking stories and smiles from all who pass by. And when the afternoon sun casts golden light across the towers, the leaves glow like emerald crowns. It feels as though the fortress itself is alive, guarding not with stone walls, but with green life, proof that even discarded bottles can become castles of creativity, protecting both the earth and our dreams. Few sights are as uplifting as a field of sunflowers, their golden faces turned to sun. The bottle sunflower field garden captures that same joy, transforming recycled bottles into radiant blossoms that never fade. Imagine bottles painted yellow, their tops ringed with bright petals, each one sprouting herbs like basil or parsley. Arranged together, they form a cheerful field of sunflowers that bring summer into the garden all year long. The crafting process is playful and bright. Bottles are cut and painted in sunny shades of yellow, with brown centers to mimic sunflower faces. Petals can be made from painted cardboard or directly painted onto the bottle's edges. Children especially love this project, their hands busy with paint as they create endless rows of smiling sunflowers. Once planted, the greenery adds depth, making the bottles look as though they are truly alive. Beyond their beauty, these bottles are practical hydroponic planters. Filled with water and nutrients, they support herbs or small vegetables that can be harvested for daily meals. Their vertical design makes them perfect for lining fences, balconies, or school gardens, creating living walls of yellow and green. For families, building sunflower gardens becomes a weekend of creativity and laughter. For communities, they can transform plain walls into bright field of color, bringing smiles to passers-by. And when sunlight hits the painted petals, the bottles glow warmly, their herbs swaying gently above like leafy crowns. The effect is simple but magical. A field of sunflowers made not from nature alone, but from imagination and recycling. It is proof that even waste can bloom again, carrying joy, hope, and life into every corner of the garden. Just like a sunflower always following the light. Bridges are more than pathways. They connect us, guiding our steps with promise. The Bottle Lantern Bridge Garden captures that feeling with light, life, and sustainability. Imagine walking through a garden at dusk, greeted by a bridge glowing with lanterns made from recycled bottles. Each bottle painted in red, orange, or gold shines softly from within, while herbs sprout upward like crowns of green. Together, they create not just a bridge, but a passage into magic. The crafting process is as warm as the final result. Old bottles are cleaned, painted with traditional lantern colors, and decorated with golden motifs. Tiny LED or solar lights are placed inside, turning each bottle into a glowing lantern. When strung or arranged along a small bridge, they form an archway of light. Children especially enjoy painting patterns, flowers, stars, or even simple swirls that glow beautifully when the lights come on. These lanterns are not only decorative, they are also functional hydroponic planters. Herbs like basil, mint, or thyme thrive in the tops of bottles, nourished by water and nutrients. During the day, they stand as planters, At night, they transform into luminous guides that bring warmth to the garden. For families, building a lantern bridge is an evening project filled with joy and togetherness. For communities, it becomes a landmark, a glowing reminder that recycling can be beautiful and meaningful. And when the sun sets, the lantern bottles shine, casting reflections across the plants and the ground below. The herbs sway above like green flames, completing the illusion of living lanterns. It is a bridge of light and life, proof that even waste can guide us, transforming into something that connects hearts, places, and dreams. There's a quiet poetry in bonsai, where patience shapes trees into living art. The bottle bonsai waterfall planters carry that tradition into sustainability, turning recycled bottles into miniature worlds of serenity. Imagine bottles painted in earthy tones, each holding a small herb trimmed into the shape of a bonsai tree. From the edges, vines spill downward like water flowing endlessly, creating the illusion of a living waterfall captured in miniature. The crafting process is meditative. Bottles are cut and painted with subtle textures, bark-like browns or mossy greens. Herbs such as basil, thyme, or oregano are planted, their growth gently pruned to mimic the balanced form of bonsai. Cascading plants like ivy or creeping mint are added to flow down the sides, completing the waterfall effect. When arranged on wooden stands or stones, they look like tiny landscapes, gardens within gardens. These planters are not just beautiful, they are practical hydroponic systems. The bottles sustain the plants with water and nutrients, making care simple and sustainable. Perfect for desks, balconies, or backyard corners, they bring a sense of calm and artistry to any space. For families, creating bonsai waterfall planters is a lesson in patience and creativity, an afternoon spent shaping life and seeing beauty and restraint. For communities, a display of these planters in a school or park can inspire respect for both tradition and the environment. And when sunlight catches the cascading vines, glistening with dew, the planters feel like tiny worlds where time slows. They whisper lessons of balance, growth, and transformation, proof that even discarded plastic can carry the elegance of bonsai and the flowing grace of a waterfall, turning waste into a landscape of peace. The universe holds endless mysteries, painted in colors more vivid than our imaginations. With Bottle Galaxy Nebula Hydroponics, that beauty comes down to earth, captured in recycled bottles that glow like cosmic lanterns. Imagine bottles painted with swirling blues, violets, and pinks, speckled with tiny white stars. From their tops sprout herbs and greens, while inside, soft lights flicker like distant galaxies. At night, they transform an ordinary balcony or patio into a star-filled garden. The crafting process is as creative as stargazing itself. Old bottles are cleaned and painted with sponges or brushes to create nebula effects, blending colors into dreamlike swirls. Tiny dots of white paint are added to mimic stars, and LED or solar lights are placed inside to give a gentle glow. Children especially love this project, imagining their bottles as planets or galaxies they can hold in their hands. But these bottles are not just decoration. They are hydroponic planters. Herbs like basil, mint, or thyme grow from the tops, nourished by water and nutrients inside. By day, they look like pieces of art. By night, they become glowing nebulae filled with life. Perfect for small spaces, they bring a sense of wonder and creativity to everyday gardening. For families, the Galaxy bottles offer evenings of fun, painting, planting, and watching their gardens glow like the night sky. For communities, a wall of nebula planters can transform a park or school into a cosmic display, blending science, art, and sustainability. And when the night falls, the bottles shine, their colors glowing softly under the stars above. It feels like holding a piece of the universe, proof that even waste can become galaxies of life, carry imagination as vast as the cosmos itself. There is a timeless charm in cottage windows, where boxes of herbs and flowers spill into the sunlight. The bottle cottage window herb planters capture that feeling, turning recycled bottles into little windowsills of life. Imagine bottles painted in soft colors, decorated with shutters or floral accents, sitting neatly on a rustic ledge. From their tops sprout herbs like basil, parsley, or mint, adding freshness and fragrance to both home and garden. The process of creating these planters feels cozy and creative. Bottles are cut and painted in warm tones: cream, soft green, or earthy brown. Decorative details like shutters, vines, or tiny flowers can be painted onto the sides. Some families even add miniature curtains or lace patterns to enhance the cottage look. Once planted, the herbs grow upward like tiny gardens framed by windows. These bottle planters are more than charming. They are functional hydroponic systems. They support herbs with water and nutrients, making them easy to maintain. Perfect for windowsills, balconies, or small kitchens, they bring greenery to places where space is limited. By day, they add rustic beauty. By evening, they become cozy reminders of simpler times. For families, crafting cottage window planters is a peaceful project, often paired with cooking as the herbs grow ready for use. For communities, a row of cottage-style bottles on a school wall or community center can bring warmth and character to an otherwise plain space. And when sunlight streams through the glass, casting gentle patterns across leaves and walls, the bottles seem alive with charm. They remind us that recycling can create not just function, but comfort, a window to a greener, gentler world. Crafted from bottles, herbs, and imagination, legends of sea tell of mermaids, graceful beings with glittering tails who bring mystery and beauty to the ocean. With bottle mermaid tail planters, that enchantment finds its way into the garden. Imagine bottles painted with scales of turquoise, purple, and silver, sparkling in the sunlight as if touched by waves. From the top sprout herbs and greens, making the planters look like magical tales carrying life from the sea to the land. The process of crafting these planters feels whimsical and creative. Old bottles are cut and painted with shimmering patterns that mimic mermaid scales. Metallic paints, glitter, or holographic stickers add depth and shine. Children especially love this project, carefully painting scales and watching as their creations glimmer under the light. Once herbs like basil or mint begin to grow, the bottles look alive, part ocean, part garden. Beyond their magical look, the planters serve as functional hydroponic systems. The bottles hold water and nutrients, ensuring the plants grow strong and healthy. Perfect for decorating garden ponds, patios, or balcony spaces, they bring a touch of fantasy wherever they are placed. Their unique design also makes them great for theme parties or school projects, sparking conversations about recycling and imagination. For families, mermaid tail planters are a fun bonding project that combines art and sustainability. For communities, a group of these glittering tails arranged around a pond or fountain can create an enchanting display that inspires smiles. And when the afternoon sun hits the shimmering scales, the planters sparkle as though waves are rippling across them. The herbs sway gently in the breeze, completing the illusion of tails moving in water. It is a reminder that even discarded bottles can be reborn into treasures, mystical, magical, and full of life. Nature built with elegance, and the honeycomb is one of its most perfect designs. The bottle honeycomb vertical wall captures that same harmony, transforming recycled bottles into a patterned wall of life. Imagine rows of bottles cut and arranged into hexagons, painted in golden yellows with lily motifs, each one sprouting herbs and greens. Together, they form a living honeycomb, a wall that buzzes with freshness and creativity. The crafting process is both artistic and structural. Bottles are cut into sections and joined in hexagonal shapes, then painted in tones of yellow, amber, or brown to resemble honeycomb cells. Some families add playful designs, painting bees or dripping honey onto the sides. Once basil, mint, or parsley sprout from the tops, the bottles look like glowing cells filled with nature's sweetness. This design is more than beautiful. It is practical. Each bottle functions as a hydroponic planter, supporting herbs and small vegetables with water and nutrients. The vertical honeycomb pattern maximizes space, making it ideal for fences, balconies, or school walls. Its structure allows easy expansion. Just add more cells as needed, like building a hive of greenery. For families, crafting honeycomb gardens is a fun weekend project that blends art with science. For schools and communities, it can become a teaching tool, showing how bees inspire sustainable design while also encouraging recycling. And when sunlight shines through the yellow painted bottles, casting golden reflections on the leaves, the wall seems to glow with life. It feels alive, like a hive buzzing with growth and imagination. proof that even plastic waste can be shaped into patterns of beauty and balance, mirroring nature's own designs. Art tells stories, and tribal patterns carry the wisdom of generations. The Bottle Tribal Art Hydroponic Garden celebrates this heritage, turning recycled bottles into living canvases decorated with cultural motifs. Imagine bottles painted in bold strokes of red, black, and white, their surfaces filled with spirals, zigzags, and geometric forms. From their tops sprout herbs and greens, merging tradition with life and sustainability. The process of crafting these planters feels like honoring history while shaping the future. Bottles are cut, cleaned, and painted with tribal-inspired patterns, each line carrying meaning and rhythm. Families can research local designs or invent their own, blending cultural pride with creativity. When planted with basil, mint, or parsley, the bottles take on an even deeper symbolism, growth rooted in both heritage and innovation. Beyond their artistic value, these tribal bottles are practical hydroponic systems. They provide fresh herbs and vegetables while conserving water and space, making them ideal for urban homes, schools, or community gardens. Their striking patterns make them as much decoration as they are functional gardens, turning ordinary walls into galleries of life. For families, this project is a chance to teach children about culture and sustainability at the same time. For communities, a tribal bottle wall can become a powerful statement piece, blending art, nature, and recycling into one cohesive vision. And when the afternoon sun illuminates the bold colors, the patterns seem to dance across the bottles while the herbs sway gently above. It feels like a song of the earth made visible, a reminder that creativity is not new but ancient, and that even waste can carry stories forward. The galaxy is vast, filled with spirals of stars that turn slowly across the night sky. The bottle spiral galaxy hanging garden captures that cosmic beauty, bringing it into backyards and balconies through recycling and imagination. Picture bottles painted with deep blues, purples, and silvers dotted with tiny white stars. Hung in a spiral formation, they glow with LED lights as herbs sprout upward, creating the illusion of a galaxy spinning above your garden. The process of building this design is both creative and mesmerizing. Bottles are cleaned, cut, and painted in nebula-inspired gradients, then dotted with stars using a fine brush or sponge. When assembled in a spiral mobile, each bottle reflects light and color, spinning gently in the wind. Inside, the hydroponic system supports herbs like basil, parsley, or thyme. By day, they look like cosmic art. By night, they shine like fragments of the Milky Way. These spiral gardens are more than decoration. They are functional vertical systems that maximize space while creating a sense of wonder. Ideal for patios, balconies, or school projects, they show how recycling can transform waste into beauty that inspires curiosity and creativity. For families, crafting spiral galaxy planners is an activity that sparks conversations about the universe and sustainability. For communities, a hanging galaxy garden can serve as a magical centerpiece in shared spaces, drawing attention and inspiring others to take part in eco-friendly creativity. And when twilight comes, the spiral bottles begin to glow, their lights twinkling like stars while herbs sway gently above. It feels like holding the night sky in your own backyard, a reminder that even discarded bottles can shine like galaxies, carrying both life and light into the darkness. Temple gates often stand as symbols of welcome, tradition, and peace. The bottle temple gate planters bring that same serenity into the garden, turning recycled bottles into gateways of greenery and life. Imagine bottles painted in deep reds, accented with gold, and arranged like a sacred entrance. From their tops sprout herbs, mint, basil, or parsley, making the gate not only symbolic but alive with freshness. The crafting process is both mindful and creative. Old bottles are cleaned and painted in rich temple-inspired colors, sometimes with black bases and golden highlights to resemble traditional patterns. Families can assemble them into an arch-like frame, or simply arrange them symmetrically along a garden path. When the plants begin to grow, the bottles transform into a living gateway, one that feels both spiritual and sustainable. Beyond beauty, these temple gate planters serve a practical purpose. Each bottle functions as a hydroponic planter, nourishing herbs with water and nutrients. Perfect for gardens, patios, or even small courtyards, they create a sense of balance while offering fresh ingredients for meals. Their symbolic design adds depth, making the space feel like a sanctuary of both culture and nature. For families, crafting these planners is a way to connect creativity with heritage, teaching children about tradition while inspiring eco-conscious habits. For communities, a temple gate-themed garden can become a shared landmark, offering peace and inspiration to everyone who passes through. And when the morning light strikes the golden accents, the bottles gleam softly while the herbs sway gently above. It feels like a blessing carried by nature, proof that even discarded plastic can be reshaped into something meaningful, an entrance not only into a garden, but into a greener way of life. Rainbows have always symbolized hope and joy, filling the sky with color after the storm. The Bottle Rainbow Tower Hydroponics bring that spirit into the garden, turning recycled bottles into vertical towers of life. Imagine bottles painted in vivid stripes, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, stacked neatly into tall columns. From each level, herbs and greens sprout proudly, forming a living rainbow that grows upward toward the sky. The crafting process is vibrant and fun. Bottles are cleaned, cut, and painted in bright rainbow shades, then assembled into towers using wooden or metal frames. Each bottle serves as a hydroponic planter, supporting herbs like basil, mint, and parsley. Children especially enjoy painting the bottles, their brushes filling the garden with cheerful colors. As the plants grow, the tower transforms into a vertical garden that is as artistic as it is practical. This design shines in both beauty and function. The rainbow towers save space by growing vertically, making them perfect for balconies, patios, or small yards. They also ensure balanced sunlight exposure for every plant, helping herbs grow evenly. For urban homes, they bring a splash of color to otherwise gray surroundings, reminding us that sustainability can be joyful. For families, crafting rainbow towers is a bonding activity filled with laughter and creativity. For communities, they can become uplifting landmarks, brightening schools, parks, or shared gardens with color and greenery. And when sunlight reflects on the painted bottles, the tower seems to glow like a prism, its plants swaying gently in the breeze. It feels like a celebration of life, proof that even waste can be transformed into hope, color, and growth. In every garden, water brings calm, a gentle sound that soothes the heart and refreshes the soul. The Bottle Zen Fountain Herb Garden captures this serenity, combining the beauty of flowing water with the growth of fresh herbs. Imagine bottles stacked and angled so that water trickles gracefully from one end to the next, each one painted in earthy browns and mossy greens. From the tops, basil, mint, or thyme sprout upward, making the fountain not only peaceful but alive. The crafting process is as meditative as its result. Old bottles are cut and positioned to allow water to cascade downward, powered by a small pump or gravity. Painted in natural tones, they blend with stone, sand, and plants to create a miniature oasis. Herbs are planted in the tops, their leaves catching drops of water as they grow. Children especially enjoy watching the water flow while helping arrange stones around the base. Beyond beauty, this design serves a functional purpose. The hydroponic system inside each bottle ensures herbs are nourished by water and nutrients, while the fountain keeps moisture circulating. This makes it ideal for small spaces where freshness, relaxation, and creativity are all desired. Perfect for balconies, patios, or backyard corners, it transforms even the smallest area into a tranquil retreat. For families, crafting a Zen fountain garden is a bonding project that invites patience and reflection. For communities, it can become a centerpiece in shared spaces, encouraging calm and mindfulness in everyday life. And when sunlight catches the flowing water, making it sparkle as herbs sway gently above, the fountain feels alive with balance. It is proof that recycling can create not just gardens, but sanctuaries, where waste becomes harmony and nature finds its rhythm once again. From ancient myths, the phoenix rises, reborn from fire, carrying hope and renewal. The bottle phoenix fire planters capture that spirit of transformation, turning discarded plastic into glowing symbols of life. Imagine bottles painted in shades of red, orange, and gold, decorated with feathers and flame-like details. From their tops sprout herbs and greens, as if the phoenix itself is reborn in each leaf. The crafting process is alive with color and meaning. Bottles are cut and shaped with flame patterns, then painted with fiery gradients. Some families add golden highlights or feather details, making the bottles look like they are burning with life. Once planted with basil, mint, or parsley, the greenery becomes a rebirth, softening the flames with fresh hope. Children especially enjoy mixing paints, watching the fiery bottles come alive with their own touch. Beyond symbolism, these planters are practical hydroponic systems. They grow herbs with water and nutrients inside, ensuring sustainability. Their bold colors make them stand out as decorative pieces in gardens, balconies, or patios. Arranged together, they create a garden of flames that burns not with destruction, but with life and creativity. For families, crafting Phoenix planters is a reminder that even waste can be reborn into beauty. For communities, a cluster of these fiery bottles can symbolize resilience, transformation, and unity, turning a shared space into a place of inspiration. And when the afternoon sun shines across the fiery colors, the bottles seem to glow like embers, their herbs rising upward like green flames. It is a living metaphor that from what is broken or discarded, new life can rise. A Phoenix garden of hope, crafted from bottles, fire, and imagination. There is something timeless about stained glass, its jewel colors glowing whenever the sun passes through. The bottle-stained glass garden wall brings that beauty into the outdoors, transforming recycled bottles into a living mosaic of color and life. Imagine bottles painted in rich translucent tones, emerald green, ruby red, sapphire blue, golden yellow, arranged in patterns that catch the sunlight. From the top sprout herbs and greens, completing a wall that feels like both art and garden. The crafting process is vibrant and joyful. Old bottles are cut and decorated with translucent paints or glass-like finishes. Geometric patterns, floral designs, or abstract swirls bring personality to each bottle. Once assembled into a vertical frame, the bottles glow like stained glass windows. Children especially love watching how sunlight changes the colors, while adults appreciate the striking beauty it adds to the garden. But beyond decoration, this wall is functional. Each bottle acts as a hydroponic planter, supporting herbs such as basil, parsley, or thyme with water and nutrients. The vertical arrangement makes it perfect for small spaces, balconies, or urban gardens. By day, it is a colorful wall of art. By night, it can be illuminated with small lights to become a glowing display of creativity. For families, crafting stained glass bottle gardens is an artistic adventure that teaches sustainability. For communities, these walls can transform plain fences or schoolyards into vibrant landmarks that inspire joy. And when the sun pours to the colored bottles, painting the ground with patches of rainbow light, the garden feels alive with magic. It is proof that even discarded plastic can shine again, reborn as art, as function, as beauty. A stained glass of life and growth, made from what was once waste. Origami, the Japanese art paper folding, has always been a symbol of patience, precision, and beauty. The bottle origami style planters carry that elegance into gardening, turning recycled bottles into sculptural pieces that look like folded paper animals. Imagine bottles cut and shaped into cranes, swans, or butterflies, painted in soft pastel colors. From their top sprout herbs, transforming them into living origami creations that celebrate both tradition and sustainability. The crafting process is delicate yet playful. Bottles are cleaned and carefully cut into folds and angles that mimic origami shapes. With a little imagination, the flat surfaces of plastic can be transformed into wings, beaks, or folded patterns. Painted in pastel pinks, whites, or blues with accents of gold or silver, they become enchanting miniature sculptures. Once filled with basil, mint, or parsley, the herbs complete the illusion of life springing from folded art. Beyond their artistic appeal, these origami planters are functional hydroponic systems. They conserve water and space, making them ideal for balconies, patios, or desks. Their compact size allows for multiple designs to be displayed together, creating a garden gallery of origami animals. For families, making origami bottle planters is an exercise in creativity and teamwork. Children learn shapes and patterns, while adults guide the delicate cutting and planting. For communities, these origami gardens can serve as exhibitions of recycled art, blending cultural heritage with modern sustainability. And when sunlight touches their painted folds, the bottles cast shadows that resemble real origami figures. It feels as if the paper animals have come to life, carrying green crowns of herbs on their backs. Proof that even waste can be folded into beauty, shaped into tradition, and planted with hope. There is magic in the idea of hobbit houses, tiny, round door homes nestled in the earth, full of warmth and life. The bottle hobbit house mini gardens bring that charm into the backyard, transforming recycled bottles into miniature homes of greenery. Imagine bottles painted in earthy browns and mossy greens, each with a round door, little windows, and vines creeping across the sides. From the top sprout herbs like basil or parsley, turning the roofs into living gardens. Together, they create a whimsical village where nature and imagination meet. The crafting process feels like storytelling made real. Old bottles are cleaned and cut, then painted with charming details. Wooden doors, stone walls, flower boxes, and even tiny chimneys. Children especially love designing colorful doors, imagining each planter as a home of a character from a fairy tale. Once herbs are planted inside, the bottles look like cozy hobbit homes with gardens growing on their rooftops. Beyond their charm, these planters are functional hydroponic systems. The bottles conserve space and water while producing fresh herbs for everyday meals. Perfect for small gardens, patios, or even indoor displays, they bring a touch of fantasy into practical gardening. For families, crafting hobbit house gardens becomes a magical weekend activity, filled with creativity and laughter. For communities, arranging them into a cluster creates an enchanting miniature village that sparks curiosity and wonder. And when sunlight filters through the leaves, casting shadows across painted doors and windows, the bottles feel alive with story. They remind us that recycling can be more than functional. It can be whimsical, imaginative, and filled with joy. Proof that even plastic waste can become a village of life and dreams, where every leaf tells a tale. The lotus is a timeless symbol of purity and rebirth, rising gracefully from the water to bloom in beauty. The bottle lotus bloom planters bring that elegance into the garden, transforming recycled bottles into flowers of life. Imagine bottles cut into layered petals, painted in gentle pinks and whites with touches of gold. From their centers sprout herbs and greens, as if new life is blooming from the heart of each lotus. The crafting process is delicate but deeply rewarding. Old bottles are carefully cut into petal shapes, then arranged in layers to resemble lotus blossoms. Painted in pastel shades, the petals shimmer softly in the light. Families can add finishing touches with golden edges or hand-painted details, making each lotus unique. Once planted with basil, mint, or parsley, the herbs grow from the center, completing the illusion of a flower that not only blooms but nourishes. Beyond their beauty, these lotus planters serve as practical hydroponic systems. They support healthy plant growth with water and nutrients while creating visual harmony. Placed on ponds, fountains, or stone basins, they bring peace and balance to any garden. Indoors, they can decorate meditation spaces or sunny windowsills, reminding us of renewal and calm. For families, crafting lotus planters becomes a meditative activity, where each cut and brushstroke feels like shaping a piece of art. For communities, a display of bottle lotus gardens can transform shared spaces into sanctuaries of color and life. And when sunlight reflects on the painted petals, shimmering on the water surface, the bottles appear alive, like real lotus blossoms floating in a dream. They remind us that from even discarded plastic, beauty can rise again, pure, bright, and filled with life. Step into a forest, and the first thing you notice is the canopy, the living ceiling of green that filters light and shelters life. The bottle forest canopy hanging garden captures that feeling, turning recycled bottles into suspended planters that mimic the layers of a woodland. Imagine bottles painted in mossy greens and earthy browns, hanging high from branches or beams. Herbs sprout upward while vines cascade down, forming a floating jungle of life. The crafting process is as adventurous as exploring nature itself. Old bottles are cleaned, cut, and painted in natural tones, then hung at different heights with ropes or twine. Some bottles are filled with cascading plants like ivy, while others hold upright herbs like basil or mint. When grouped together, they create the illusion of a miniature forest canopy swaying gently in the breeze. These planters are not only striking, they are practical hydroponic systems. The bottles hold water and nutrients, ensuring healthy growth while saving ground space. perfect for patios, pergolas, or garden trees. They turn empty air into productive green layers. By day, they provide shade and beauty. By evening, they can be paired with small lights to glow like fireflies among the leaves. For families, building a forest canopy garden is a chance to blend creativity with outdoor fun. Children enjoy helping hang the bottles at different levels, watching as the garden transforms into a floating jungle. For communities, a canopy garden can become a centerpiece for parks or schools, teaching lessons about ecosystems and sustainability. And when sunlight filters through the leaves, dappling the bottles and plants with shifting light, the garden feels alive, like stepping into a forest dream. It is proof that even plastic waste can rise into the canopy, becoming part of a living, breathing sky of green. A time capsule holds more than objects. It carries stories, dreams, and hopes into the future. The Bottle Time Capsule Hydroponic Planters bring that same idea into the garden, blending memory with growth. Imagine bottles painted in metallic tones, silver, bronze, or gold, standing upright like tiny monuments. Inside, families tuck away small notes, drawings, or keepsakes. From the top sprout herbs like basil or mint, making each bottle a living capsule of both memory and life. The process of crafting these planters feels both nostalgic and inspiring. Old bottles are cleaned and painted with metallic finishes, sometimes decorated with engraved-like lines or symbols. Before planting, families can place a folded note, a child's drawing, or even a photo inside the sealed base of the bottle. Then, the upper section is transformed into a hydroponic planter. As the herbs grow upward, the bottle becomes both a container of memories and a source of fresh life. This design is not only meaningful, but also practical. Each bottle functions as a hydroponic system, supporting herbs with water and nutrients. Perfect for gardens, patios, or even indoor displays, the capsules grow food while holding hidden stories. They can serve as family traditions, community projects, or even classroom lessons about time, growth, and sustainability. For families, crafting time capsule planners becomes a cherished ritual, combining creativity with reflection. For communities, a garden of capsules can symbolize collective dreams for a greener future. And when sunlight glints off the metallic paint, the bottles shine like monuments of memory. Their herbs sway above like green guardians, reminding us that growth is not only about plants. It is about preserving stories, honoring the past, and planting seeds for tomorrow.